On this bunch, the grapes seem nicely ripe. They're high in sugar, which gives a very sweet wine. It even has a little taste of port. I'll make a good wine this year. At least, I hope so.
Ernesto is starting the harvest today with his family. His wine is produced on the very limits of the possible. Ernesto's vineyard is the farthest south in the whole North American continent.
In this region, it's very hard to go all the way to the harvest. I see it as a triumph of nature, the fact that the vine thrives so well here. There is such a struggle for water in this desert zone. The climate is really harsh. So yes, you could say it's a miracle to have so many nice grapes.
Once upon a time in the West, Los Comondú is a Garden of Eden in the far west. Los Comondú is in the Baja California region of Mexico. This 1,200-kilometer peninsula is dotted by around 100 islands of green. These are the oases of America. Around them is a vast desert the size of Italy. It only rains here for a few days per year, and temperatures can reach 50 degrees Celsius. Hence the name California, which comes from the Latin, meaning hot oven. In this desert, the oases provide a Wild West backdrop. But in Los Comondú, it wasn't gold that brought the early pioneers, it was water. The first conquest of the West began here some 300 years ago, long before the gold rush. The first Californians from Europe settled here, in Los Comondú. Long isolated and little known, the oases are today attracting fresh attention. Researchers are fascinated by this El Dorado, where water is turned into wine. The cowboys who still roam here show us around this earthly paradise. He could have gone in search of a different American dream. But at 27, Miguel Perpoli chose to stay in the oasis town where he was born. In Los Comondú, the wine is not the only miracle. There is also the exploit of raising cattle in the middle of the desert. Miguel is one of the last herders of Los Comondú.
Our cows are thinner than elsewhere because there's not enough rain. It only rains once a year, so we have to accept that our cows lose weight. We keep them with us, we buy them hay until it rains. After the rain, we release them and we can breathe a little easier.
In summer, the cowboy has no need for his lasso. Miguel has to wait patiently for the autumn rain before roaming again in the wide open spaces.
This has been in my blood since I was a kid. I love my cattle and I love being on horseback. That's why I stayed here.
In Los Comondú, there have been cattlemen since 1750. They have become part of its identity. And where there are cowboys, Indians are never far away. Some of these rock paintings date from 8,000 years BC. They bear testimony to the Kashimi people, hunter-gatherers who came to find food at the oasis.
Look, there's a tortoise. I think they drew to express themselves. There's a stag. You can see its horns. They drew what they hunted, what they ate, and how they lived. Our ancestors arrived from Europe. The Aborigines who lived here interbred with the colonizers. And we are descended from this mix. The Pupuli, the vigorous Saga, typical names from here.
In a rare case in the Americas, the native Indians intermarried with the Cowboys, with the blessing of the Jesuit missionaries. The history of California is inseparable from these religious men from the old continent who came to convert the populations in this arid land. For weeks, the missionaries walked across this desert. And when they arrived, exhausted, in Los Comondú, this is what they discovered. They saw it as an incarnation of a divine miracle. They built the mission of San Jose in 1708, making it one of the oldest in California. And God created Los Comondú. Until their expulsion in 1767, the Jesuits radically transformed the ecosystem of the oasis.